no septic tanks, we're strictly English.
Ain't no Barclays here for real.
Strictly English, strictly English.
There's only two records or two pieces of music which in particular kind of stand out. The first one is the first record I ever bought, and that was Africa by Toto. Completely not hip hop in the slightest.
Just watching films and loving film soundtracks, and
my uncles, they kind of showed me what not to do if I wanted to get into this game, and they opened my eyes to a lot of real music, like Earth, Wind and Fire.
Especially when hip hop came out, because it wasn't anything we'd ever heard before.
It had a different energy from everything else that you would hear. They're different in a way that, in many respects, you couldn't even understand where it was coming from. I mean, it came from this early movement of hip hop in the Bronx, and I'm a kid from northwest London, coming from a Jewish background, no way of understanding the music that I was hearing, but somehow it connected with me in a way that no other music did.
When you were into hip hop, you sort of did something in it. And I used to dance, I used to body pop. And from that, you start to make a record collection and you start scratching up breaks and beats and stuff.
With me, it was like, I was into a lot of other stuff, but hip hop was the only music that really sort of grabbed me, you know what I mean? I just got into the whole culture of it, the dancing, the graffiti, the rapping, cutting, everything.
Then all of a sudden something clicked within me, which was, why can't I make the music I'm listening to? How do they make this music that I'm listening to?
Up until us and a few other men, everyone was trying to rap in an American accent.
And it actually, it felt like the most difficult thing to do as a British guy, to start rapping, because the only role models you had were American accented rappers, so alien to you.
And a friend of mine then called DJ Pogo told me about this band called the Brotherhood.
I got talking to him about wanting to find a new DJ.
And they were looking for me to take over the DJ role just for this tour.
And he put me in contact with Dexter, and I remember going to Pogo's house, and he had a set of decks set up. I was there with Dexter and just met him there, and just played some music and talked about the music that we liked and stuff like that, and just kind of tried to get to know each other a bit.
And it soon became apparent that Brotherhood was like this massive crew.
Me and Dex both thought to ourselves, we need another facet to this band. This band needs another facet.
There was only two of us in the band, and it was a mixed race guy and a white guy, because we're talking about being a brotherhood, but really it's only me and you, and I would really want to get a black guy in the band.
We'd spent quite a bit of time in Covent Garden, because that was kind of the epicentre of the British hip-hop community. And going down there and meeting people down there, I'd got to know quite a few people, and I had met Chris.
In all this hip-hop thing, I was a dancer, you understand me? I was a good one. I was body popping, so I cut my teeth on that side of the hip-hop fence, and that's how I got to know Shylock. Fast forward a bit now, I'm in Camden, run into Shylock again after years of not seeing him. He's like, well, yeah, listen, we're looking for a third mems. I goes, yo, B, you know about the hip-hop life? Came around to my house, hit me a couple of verses. He was like, right, I didn't know you get down like that, Chris. Oh yeah, man, I get busy. So that's when he took me to see Dexter.
He brought this guy to see me at my house, Chris. He was sort of really going to be like a hype man to get everybody going, but to be like another person with Shylock on stage that they could bounce off of.
I started the Brotherhood about 9 years ago, and after a couple of changes about 4.5 years ago, we all hooked up again together to form the Brotherhood as it is now.
It started coming together really when we did a track called I Might Smoke a Spliff But I Won't Sniff.
Search every hour for the power of the flower, but won't waste a minute for the real marching powder. A little louder, people get louder. I might smoke a spliff, but I don't.
There was a change going on. We had kind of evolved into something that really had much more of its own idea about what it wanted to be.
And that is exactly when it started. People started thinking, oh, what's this about?
It was pretty rapid. It was pretty rapid because at the time we was been dropping tunes every other week, out there doing shows. So we was out there making noise in the mix.
So suddenly we were going out to lunches with major labels and being taken out to dinner, and they were coming to our shows, and that was kind of the first time it kind of dawned on us that major label was possible.
And then we went and did a show called Raw Soup. This guy introduced himself as Simon Gavin from Virgin Records. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm interested in signing you. Do you want to go to the local Wimpy?" And we said, "Yeah, right, cool." So we went into this Wimpy restaurant in Deptford, and we just sat there and we were eating, and he said, "I'm not going to bullshit. I really like what you do, and I'd love to sign you."
We really liked the things that they talked about. They understood urban music. I don't think it was just the Wimpy that made our mind up, but the Virgin thing felt right to us.
We went to Virgin Records in Kensal Rise. We signed these bits of paper, shook a lot of hands, and we're just laughing. I just remember being like so happy I'd actually signed a fucking record deal.
We spent quite a few months in this loft working on music, listening to music. Me and Spice spent a lot of time in his flat working on raps, trying to weave things together and come up with ideas and this kind of stuff.
Clunk Click, I think that was the first thing we wrote for the Elementals album. So yeah, when I hit them with my verse, we got no time, we never felt no remorse. They went, what? They went nuts. And then when they hit with the chorus as well, Clunk Click is the sound of the cell, come visit me where we dwell, is a rap.
We got no time, we never felt no remorse. We're chopping people up and everybody made them come apart. The price of living starts to get higher, but you wonder if your brother in town fire.
All of us were very focused on the idea of producing something very unique.
There's no egos, there's no preconceptions about what's going to happen, what we can achieve.
But we had a formula and it worked, and it was easy because we wasn't trying too hard. We wasn't trying to be like this person over there or that person over there.
I think the three of us almost became three facets of the same person.
But when it came to the music side of it, bumping of heads kind of came about.
And that's when I realised when we were making the album, and it didn't sound, it wasn't the album that I would have chosen to make, but that's when I realised when I was in the studio and I was just there for scratching, and every now and again I would have an input on how vocals should sound or how tracks should be laid over or how a bass line should sound or something. I just realised that personally that's when I thought I've got no control of what Brotherhood's going to be.
The album's called Elementals. It's out, it's there, and needs to be listened to.
The urban music press and all of the more mainstream music press loved the album. They loved the album.
And the winner is Brotherhood.
What, you say something?
Yeah, I'll say it.
Say something. Yeah, this represents everyone from the UK rap scene. Everyone. Us, Black Twang, Phoebe, everyone up and down the country, MSI, Zulu Nation, and it's radio.
It was actually just before the release of the Elementals album, our manager died.
We had a manager called Mark, so Mark's Androps.
And he was quite instrumental in being a support network between us and the label.
That's when the control went kind of pear-shaped.
I knew we'd had it then when he died. I was like, we're fucked.
There was a whirlwind period, where we were gigging all the time, where we were being interviewed all the time by all kinds of media, mainstream, local, underground. We were out of the country a lot. We supported Wu-Tang a few times. We supported the Roots. We went to God knows how many European festivals and played. It was full on, and we were underground. We were not a pop band. We didn't have anywhere near the exposure. We were messing about, taking the piss out of the DJs.
What is it you want to achieve in the future?
Beyond we should go.
Boldly going where no MC has gone before.
You know, just mucking about. And to a degree, probably a little bit too much.
Do you know when it started going downhill? When they signed the Spice Girls.
When those girls hit and blew up, yeah man, music changed, man. Music changed.
They had turned our record company into a greedy bunch of fuckers.
But, you know, if you put the money in front of everybody and totted it all up, I don't think there would have been much profit in it for the record label.
But the amount of money that the Spice Girls made for the company, they were untouchable. And I just think it just went pear-shaped for smaller acts. And it just wasn't right. It just didn't feel right. None of it was right. It was like they were bored with hip-hop now.
We delivered an album, second album to Virgin, under budget, in 6 months. Yeah? So when we presented them the album, they were shocked. And we gave them a second album which was genius. But Powers of Be at the time was on some moist shit. Fuck that.
We started like getting feedback from the record label of, okay, yeah, we like the tracks, but could they be a bit more like this?
You signed a hip hop band. Let us do just that. Make the hip hop music. I ain't making pop music.
So we were out on our own, which I kind of liked. I kind of liked the idea that we had this fan base and they were a core fan base. I wanted us to go back underground and create our own thing.
And in that moment of limbo, trying to find another deal, that's when Charlotte kind of got disgruntled with the game, and
I'd kind of lost my spirit for it. We had a meeting with a guy who I found pretty unconvincing, who wanted to take us out to America, and it didn't look like he had the setup to actually make it happen or anything like that. I had already kind of had in my mind, I think this is the end.
And he said, I'm not doing it. I was like, what? And he said, no, I'm out.
And I just said to them, look, I've got a job.
But for us to come out of that meeting on such a high that there was hope and we could go and do exactly what we wanted to do, I felt, at that time in that car, when we sat in there, I thought, we're going to have it all now. We're going to conquer everything. So me and Spice went back. I don't think we actually spoke for a couple of days. And then we sort of did some stuff. But it was good. It just wasn't the same. Because it wasn't the Brotherhood. So you've got to understand, when you come out of a band and you've been with people for so long, when you come out of that band, you have to find what you can do yourself again.
The band stopping was kind of down to me.
So after it was done, I live off of Holloway Road, and the studio everyone used to use was called Monroe Studios. And it was ripped out, it was being ripped out. And I was on the top of a bus and it was pissing with rain. And I'd gone past it a few times and I'd seen the skips slowly being filled up with like wood and mud and crap, you know. And on this one time I was coming back and I looked down and I just saw this skip, and sticking out of all the mud were all these Aphex tapes. All these tapes that were reel-to-reel tapes. In the boxes, Brotherhood, Black Twang, so-and-so, Muddy Funksters, blah, blah, blah. Just sticking out of this thing in the rain. And I just thought, fucking hell, it's over, it's done. This is how it works in this skip.
I mean, I'm tremendously proud of the Elementals album. I think that album could not have happened at any other time in any other way.
Even said to this day, if you pick it up, you look at the album and go, fuck me, what the fuck? You could hang that shit in the Louvre. It's a piece of artwork from front to back, inside and out.
and living that album with Spice and Dexter. You know, it's just such a gift to be given that in your life.
I'm not saying that we've influenced anybody like the Beatles or anyone like that. No way. But it's just nice to go to jams every now and again. You know, people younger than you who are doing stuff have so much respect for what you did. It's just nice to be remembered as someone that has done it and was there. And
you know, I remember very clearly at Roskilde.
TV Sjælland og Roskilde Trælast præsenterer Roskilde Festival 96.
When we took that headline spot, it was Spice's birthday.
It was a fucking mad day. I was in jail the lot, yeah, on my birthday, yeah, in a cell, yeah. Anyway, long story short, halfway through the set, doing my thing, whatever it was, Shylock and D paused me and got the crowd to wish me happy birthday.
You know, there was nothing that compared to that almost.
that was a high. That was a good time. Mixing the album in New York was a really good time as well. And we just sat in the studio for a few hours and got bored off our fucking skulls. And so we just called up Virgin and said, can we get a car? And they said, yeah, go and see Virgin Records over there and get whatever you want. Sitting on, one of the highlights of that trip was standing on top of the hotel in a pair of swimming trunks at about 11:30 at night with a drink in my hand, a swimming pool on the top of the hotel, and just looking over New York City and just sitting there and listening to all the saxophones coming off the street below and just thinking, I could seriously live like this for the rest of my life. I really hope this album does well.
I might smoke a hootie loose and pass my kazoo, but I won't toot no doubt, cause it turns